Hello and welcome to Restless Gecko Reviews. I've taken a little bit of time out because there wasn't really much to talk about, but I'm back as I have been on a bit of a soul-searching journey to find my ideal control pad. As most of the time I've been on balance pads, I just wanted to try something a bit different, see what I can get in terms of control. So yeah, before I get started, I just want to say, if you want to subscribe, massively helps the channel. If you want to like. If you want to dislike. If you want to leave a comment, I'll get back to you in the comment section if you want to comment on any of these or ask any questions. So yeah, right, getting on with it. This is the Massimo Pro from Superbeings Lab. It is a control pad. It has a uwu anime girlfriend on it, or anime waifu, if you're a man of discerning taste, or woman of discerning taste, might float your boat. But luckily I think she is, judging by her stature, over the age of 18, so not for the likes of Dr. Disrespect. But anyway, it's a control pad. It is 4.5mm thick, so it's reasonably thick. It's got a nice sticky base. Not really sure what the base is, but it sticks to your desk, that's all you really need to know. It's an interesting texture to it. Let me see if I just hold that up for you. You can see that there. It's similar to the Kurosun Samurai in some ways, in that it is that unusual sort of like football or soccer or whatever you want to call it, jersey sort of texture. It is controlled, but it's not so controlled that you're going to have judder when you're doing your micro corrections. Decent looking pad. Stands up to humidity really well, I would say. Just feels really good quality. The stitching is really nice. There is a bit of double stitching at the top here, as you can see, obviously where they've started and finished the stitching, but the stitching's really nice. It's subsurface, very plush, got a little bit of give to it as well. Really nice control pad. It's not like mega controlled, but it's more controlled than a balance pad is what I would say. It's more on the balance side than it is on side, like more balanced than it is a mud pad is what I would say. But yeah, really nice pad. I like it. Didn't have any issues with it. I get a little bit of judder in my micro corrections, but it's nothing like not major. It's only when I'm like really focusing doing those static scenarios. But yeah, it's not bad at all, to be honest. And then the next one, let me just hurl this off the desk, is the Rizz X Nacho Customs from the Whale, who's a reviewer, and I think he does like machine builds and does testing, all that sort of stuff, and comes up with some ridiculously fast PC builds. But yeah, this is a microfiber surface. Really cool design from Nacho Customs, as with everything he does. It's really nice. This is a mid base. It is 490 by 490 3.5. Sorry, just to go back to that last one, that was 490 by 420, so it's not a full square pad. This is, yeah, a 490 by 490. The base is ridiculously sticky. If you're someone that likes to adjust it, you're going to have to rip it off your desk and switch it around, because you're not going to be able to nudge it anywhere. It just sticks. One of the things with this pad, I would say, is it is incredibly controlled. Really controlled. I had a bit of static build up at first, where literally the mouse, after a while, I might do it now, to be fair, because these are reasonably fresh core pads. When I first had it, it built up static to the point where the mouse would barely move. As you can see, that's sort of like reasonably slow. But it, yeah, due to the surface, my hand sticks to it like crazy if I get a bit warm and a bit sweaty on days like today when it's a bit warm outside, which is an oxymoron for the UK. But yeah, it's a very controlled pad, I would say. Not really my favourite. I really like the design, I like the texture. I don't like how it feels on my arm when it gets a bit sticky. It is plush as the mid base, so it's not massively plush, but it's got a decent bit of give to it, but you're not going to find any real slowdown in anchoring into it. It's just slow anyway, so I don't know why you would really need the soft. If you're into that soft base, then go for it. But yeah, it is just a very controlled sort of experience. Yeah, decent enough pad if you're into like something airing on the side of mud. Between the two, I would say this was definitely slower than the Massimo Pro. Massimo Pro is, but to be honest with you, this is more interesting than the Massimo Pro. The Massimo Pro is more like slightly slower than controlled. It's slower than the Artisan Zero. it's slower than the Samurai, and the Samurai is slower than the Zero, so it sort of falls just slightly shy in terms of the static friction. That's actually quicker. The dynamic friction on that is a lot quicker than the static. The static is actually a little bit stronger, so you can move quite freely with it, but you've got enough stopping power. This is just, yeah, it's static friction's quite high. The dynamic friction, it's not too bad once you get going. Yeah, they're decent enough pads, but I would say this is more interesting just because of how slow it is. The Massimo Pro is pretty much what we've come to expect. It's a balance pad airing on the side of control. And it's nice. It does the job really, really well. It's got a really nice design. It's a decent size at 490 by 420. Yeah, there's not really a lot to complain about. They're both decent pads. This is more interesting, like I said, just because it's slower. But am I going to use it? Probably not. Am I going to sell it? Yeah, most likely. It's just, yeah, it's just not for me. I always find myself going back to the Zero. Probably because I'm yet to find something that doesn't make my arms stick to it like glue when I get a bit warm, and I can micro adjust with it freely. And yeah, one of the things I've found is if you do struggle with micro adjustments, it's better to go with a medium to fast pad, just because it gives you a little bit more freedom, and it's not like stop start like you're on 400 DPI in a really low sense where you see the pixels, individual pixels moving. That's what it feels like on these pads to me. But yeah, maybe it's just my style and the way that I move the mouse, but just not for me, unfortunately. But yeah, they're both really, really good quality. The stitching on this, again, is subsurface. Really, really good quality. Both high quality pads, what we've come to expect now. Everything is, we seem to have attained this like quality standard for mice and quality standard for mouse pads where everybody's just hitting the right notes, and it's just much of a muchness. It's whatever you prefer. It's a surface you prefer. It's how it performs. It's just, yeah, just comes down to your personal preference, and this one unfortunately isn't for me, although this absolutely beautiful design. Same with the Superbeings Lab Massimo Pro. Really, really nice, but back to Artisan, I'm afraid, for now. Switching between that and the Hyate Otsu when I want a little bit more speed. But yeah, my search for a control pad continues, and we'll see what comes next. So yeah, thank you very much for watching if you made it all the way through. I know these aren't the most popular videos because it's just a black square at the end of the day, but I appreciate you if you watched, and I will catch you in the next video. The next video will be the FNATIC X Lamzu Maya X, which should be delivered later in this month, maybe early October, so I'll get a review up once I've had some good time testing it, and I'll let you know how it is. But for the moment, I'm maining the Gpro, and I just love the Gpro, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.